Odysseus and his men had made it to the island of Aeolia. They had met Aeolus, a friend of the immortal gods. They were given a bottle of blustering winds. They were given help by the westward winds from Aeolus. After 10 days they could see their land.
I wonder what's in the bag.
Let's have a look, why don't we?
Okay, I'll open it.
The bag opened, the winds came out, and the men were carried out to sea once more. These motions woke Odysseus. Their boat was carried back to the land of Aeolia. It took 7 days to reach the island of the midnight sun, where they faced a massacre. They reached the island of Aea, which held the land of Circe. Odysseus came back to the boat with a message of surprise for his men.
Men, I have brought forth a stag for us to feast on, for we shall not starve.
Well, where is it?
On the beach, we must fetch it.
Yes, good sir.
After the men were off to search the island, Polytes stopped them, for he had heard the sound of women singing.
Men, let's go in and speak to her.
The men called to her loudly.
Come in, young man.
Herculius stayed behind. Circe gave him the food and wine that made him forget their native land. She then used her wand and turned them into pigs, except they had use of their minds. Hercules went back and told Odysseus what had happened.
Oh, men are pigs. They're simply pigs. They say they love you, then they leave you. It's their nature to deceive you. They yell and fuss. They scream and cuss. The only thing they're good at making is a mess. What they're about, I'll spell it out. Oh, men are all P-I-G-S.
Odysseus, sir, the woman was singing and invited the crew members in, and she turned them into swine.
Take me there, show me the way.
I can't go back there, sir, neither can you. You may never come back.
I must go, and I will.
Along the way, Odysseus ran into Hermes, who gave him a charm to enter the house of Circe and foil her. Hermes gave him instructions on how to handle her. He went to the doors of her home. She let him in and fed him, but he was not affected. When she tried to use her wand, he jumped up at her with his sword, and he was terrified.
Surely you are Odysseus. Let's lie down together and trust each other in love.
You have turned my men into pigs, so first you must swear to never attempt anything evil against me.
I swear.
Circe bathed Odysseus and dressed him. They sat, and Circe asked what troubled Odysseus.
Well, all my men have been turned into pigs, and it's just too much to see them as pigs before my eyes.
I will set them free. You should retrieve the rest of your men from the boat.
Odysseus went back to get his men. They all came back with Odysseus, but Eurycleus refused to go with them and ended up making Odysseus angry. His men told him to let him stay, but he followed behind them anyways. Circe had the other men bathed, dressed, and fed as well.
I know what you have been through. Stay with me here for 1 year.
The men agreed. After the year, the men started thinking of going back home.
Circe, help me back home.
Well, you must visit mighty Hades and awful Persephone and make an offering of you and black ram and pray to the gods that they will show you the way back.
Odysseus told his men, and they were off. When they were leaving, Elpenor was on the roof, and he was awakened by the sound of the men leaving. Elpenor ran off the roof without thinking to use the ladder. He broke his neck and died. At this point of the journey, Odysseus travels to the river of Ocean in the land of the Cimmerians. There he pours libations and performs sacrifices as Circe earlier instructed him to do to attract the souls of the dead.
Elpenor, what brings you here to this dark, gloomy place of the spirits?
I was sleeping on the roof of Circe and fell head over heels, causing me to break my neck. Please remember me, and don't leave me unmourned or unburied, or God will punish you.
Of course, my dear friend, of course.
Odysseus then speaks with the Theban prophet Tiresias, who reveals that Poseidon is punishing the Achaeans for blinding his son Polyphemus.
Odysseus, it is time to learn your fate. You will return home, claim your wife and palace from those wretched suitors, and then make another trip to a distant land to appease Poseidon. I'm warning you, Odysseus, don't touch the flocks of the sun when you reach the island of Thrinacia. Otherwise, you won't return home without suffering a lot more hardship and losing your food.
Mother, how did you die? And tell me about the family I left behind. And what about my wife? Has she already remarried?
I wasn't shot, and it was no sickness that caused my death. But I missed you so, so much that life was sweet no longer, and I died.
Mama, didn't mean to make you die.
Odysseus then tries to speak with Ajax, who killed himself after he lost a contest with Odysseus over the arms of Achilles. But Ajax refused to speak and slips away. He sees Hercules, King Minos, the hunter Orion, and others. The hosts of the dead gathered together with deafening cries, and Odysseus grew pale with fear. Persephone might send out Hades with a dreadful monster, and he told his men to row away, and so they did. They returned to the island of Aiaia, burned the body of Elpenor, and buried him in the foreland. While doing so, Circe did not fail to learn that they came back from Hades and confronted the crew.
You men stick at nothing. Double dyers you are. Some people are content to die once, you know. Anyway, eat. You set sail tomorrow, Odysseus. Come to me afterward, and I will tell you the route for your journey.
All day long until sunset did they enjoy their feast. When the sun set and the darkness came, Odysseus' crew went to bed, and Circe described the upcoming journey.
On your journey, you will encounter the sirens, who bewitch anyone who comes near them. Make your men fill their ears with earwax, and tie you yourself to the mast if you wish to listen to them yourself. Once you are past the sirens, you will have a choice of two paths. One is the moving rocks, which no boat, man, or bird has ever gone through. You will choose the second path, cliffs where the monsters Scylla and Charybdis reside. They are terrors, Odysseus. Do not fall into their clutches. If you manage to escape, you will come to the isle of Threnthica, where the herds of Helios feed. Do not harm the cattle on the island, or your ship will be destroyed.
Thank you, Circe.
And good night.
The next day, Odysseus informed his companions of their circumstances and set sail. They soon came upon the island where the sirens lived.
Here, men, put the wax in your ears. Hurry, tie me to the mast.
The sirens sang in lovely tunes. They beckoned to them from the bottom of Odysseus' heart. He longed to listen. They soon left the island behind and approached the cliffs where Scylla and Charybdis resided. They passed the rocks of Scylla and Charybdis, mourning the loss of 6 of their best men. They soon reached the island where Helios' cattle grazed.
Men, listen to me. I know you have had a long, hard journey, but Circe forbade us to land on the island, and if we disobey, danger awaits us. Let's sail on.
This is an outrage, Odysseus. Must your heart be so cold? How could you be so heartless? How could you do this to your own men? Let's go ashore.
They reached the island of Helios.
Mighty Zeus, forgive my men of their horrible acts. Their intentions are good.
Odysseus' crew feasted for 6 days on the island. While he ate the food Circe provided, and we soon set sail until a wave destroys the ship and the crew. Zeus and Helios had not forgiven Odysseus for his men's actions. The wave destroyed the ship and everyone on it. The waves carried Odysseus back to the cliffs of Scylla and Charybdis, but he managed to escape. He drifted for 9 days and came to the island of Ogygia. There the goddess Calypso cared for him, but why go on with his story? He has told it already, and no one cares for a twice-told tale.
Goodbye.